Maybe one day I will start one of these vlogs not in my car, but until then, here I am. Welcome back. Hello to A Week in the Life. It is the second full week of school for me. I am a second year, 7th grade math teacher in Texas, for those who don't know. It is technically the third week of school, but like I said, the second full week. So I just wanted to take you guys along with me. I honestly think this week is going to be a pretty easy week. We'll see though. Today we are doing our iReady diagnostic, which those who know, it's the worst. But those of you who don't know, it's basically we use iReady and it's kind of like map testing, if you know what that is, but it is just a placement test for kids. But with iReady, they take this diagnostic and, if they get a question right, the next question is harder and harder. If they get it wrong, they make it easier. And it's just trying to figure out where to place them. And then throughout the year, they get on iReady, the same platform, and there's like tutorials on there. So like it's a really, really great resource, especially for when you're just kind of like need them to be at their seat working. So you just put them on iReady.
I just got done with lunch. So I have about 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes now, to kind of conference and recover before the rest of my day. So it is nice having my planning and conference so early in the day because I can come to school not super prepared and then like kind of get reorganized during the second period. But then it's like as soon as lunch is over, I have, what is that? Basically 4 hours straight without any breaks of teaching, which is kind of a lot. But so I think I mentioned doing the iReady diagnostic today. That's been going fine. So even though I'm not like super prepared for today, I don't have to do anything because I'm not teaching. I'm just walking around watching them on the computer. So not a big deal. But I know I'm going to be out next Friday, and next week we're also taking our first test in both levels. So kind of trying to prep for that, plan for that, make sure we have all of our materials. iReady is actually really, really cool. Once some of my students finish, I'll try to remember to show you guys what like the results look like, because I really love using it because it places them. And granted, iReady is a little bit more difficult than what we consider. So most of my 7th graders are testing on like a 5th, 6th grade level, and that's totally normal. It's the ones that are testing on like 3rd, 2nd, 1st grade level that I'm like, did you take it seriously or are you just really, really struggling? And some of them are really, really struggling. This is what I do for my warm-ups. So I just have all 5 days on one page. If I need to, I'll do it front and back. That way, when they come in, they can just pick it up on Monday and they have their warm-up to do every single day. Some of my classes I do see twice a day. So when that happens, I either just don't have a warm-up for them to do, or maybe I'll have them get on the Chromebooks and do like a puzzle, or I'll just have a puzzle. Stuff like that, just so that when they come in, they have something that they're doing and they're not just like wandering around the room aimlessly. I feel like I've done a lot of talking about nothing, so I'm just gonna go. It's 4:07. School lets out at 3:45, but I had after school duty, so I was standing outside roasting until 4:05. And since we were doing our diagnostic today, we were using the Chromebooks all day, so I'm plugging them all in right now. I normally like to have this done like before class is even over. Like I have them turn in all their Chromebooks and then they can pack up and get ready to leave. But my last class was so chaotic today because we had a fire drill that like it wasn't really going off correctly. Oh my goodness, is this mascara or just a weird, do I have raccoon eyes? Anyway, so like the fire alarm, you know, it's loud, annoying, and persistent. However, today it like let out one itty bitty pitiful little beep and stopped. And so we all kind of stood around and we're like, are we supposed to, is that a drill? Like, is this happening? And then it just kept going on and off, like very inconsistently. Like it would go off for a second and then it would stop and then, I don't know. It was just weird. Oh yeah, I do have raccoon eyes. That's awesome. Awesome. I wonder how many people saw me like this. Now it's the whole world. That is so bad. I hate this mascara. Doesn't matter. The day's over. The damage is done. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So, fire drill. Anyway, we made it out there and it was fine. Actually a very smooth fire drill for the most part. It was just weird. So all that to say, I didn't get my Chromebooks plugged in until just now. But it was really fun, honestly, being outside because my duty station is by the buses. So I get to see all the kids, like they all walk past me to get to the buses. So I got to see a lot of the kids that I have now, and they were, you know, either pointedly ignoring me or saying hi. And then I also saw a bunch of my kids from last year, which is always so sweet. They changed so much over just a summer. Like, it's crazy. Some of them I didn't even recognize because they changed so much. But I don't want to stay here very long. I was supposed to have therapy today, and my therapist's office is like right down the road, and I always schedule it for 5. So I was planning on just staying here for another 40 minutes and then just driving over, but it got rescheduled, so I can just go home. I don't think there's anything that I have to do right now. I got a lot of grading done during the diagnostic. I'm not even kidding you, like all day I didn't teach, which is nice to have a break from talking, but I literally just walked the room all day, the whole day, looking at their screens. And then I have this app where I can see their screens on my computer, so I'd walk around a little bit and then I'd come sit at my desk and watch their screens while I got a little bit of work done. So I did get quite a bit of work done. I don't know how necessary the work is, but I did something. I think I'm just gonna go. So I got home a little while ago. My husband is working late tonight, so I really don't know what to do with myself, and I've just been scrolling on my phone like a loser. I've really been home for like 30 minutes, and I'm having a bowl of cereal as my snack. It is just, and today wasn't even a bad day at school. Like I told you, I didn't do any actual teaching. I was just monitoring and stuff, but it's still just like the like fatigue that you feel at the end of the day. I just want to come home and go to sleep. Like I just want to lay down and numb my brain. Like I want to do so many things. Like I want to read or crochet, or like I want to start a scrapbook. And so like I could do that. Like I have time. And yet I'm not doing any of it. What should I do? What would you do right now? Because I really do. I have several hours until my husband's getting home. So it's like free time. I think I might start with a nice, relaxing, long shower. Maybe a bath. No, I don't want to take a bath. Take a long shower. Self-care. And then maybe afterwards I'll be a little more relaxed and I can eat supper and do something that I enjoy. Not productive necessarily, but something that I enjoy. I am fully aware that the lighting right now is atrocious and I look sick. I'm fine, just gross, I guess. It's 8:40. I think my husband is gonna get home in like 30 or 40 minutes. But I wanted to show you guys my blanket that I've been working on. Isn't it so cute? It's for a baby boy who's due in December, I think. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. This is my first time doing this pattern, and it's coming together really fast. Also, sorry if you can hear my TV. Yesterday, he was playing a video game, and he was like, man, I wish you played video games because I could really use your help. And I was like, oh, well, you know, if I had a computer, I'd play with you. And he was like, well, I can get this game on the PlayStation, you can play with me, because it's like cross-platform or whatever. So I played it, or I tried to learn it. I'm not a video game person. I do Mario Kart and that's it. But this is like a shooter and I'm really bad at it. But I know that this is something that he would really love for me to do with him and really appreciate the effort. So I think I'm gonna spend a little bit of time practicing. Maybe surprise him when he gets home, I don't know. Okay, don't laugh, but I'm wanting to do the like unicorn heatless curls that I'm sure y'all have all seen on social media. And I have tried it before and I used this one, which is like an actual hair curler, but it's so like, that is so long that, I don't know, it's not good. Like my hair just falls off of it, so I don't get good curls. So I'm using my bathrobe, and I've actually used this like a million times on just like regular heatless curls, and it works really, really well. But I've never tried it like this. So we're gonna try it, and if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen. Okay. How did I do? Be honest. And I did leave it kind of folded up because it was so long. This front piece, my camera's at such a weird angle and I'm trying to make this work. The front piece is like really, really short, which I like, but I don't know if I should keep the clip in. Oh, I think we're gonna keep the clip in because it did not want to come out just now. I hope that doesn't I don't want it to like crimp my hair though. Do you think if I'm afraid it's gonna fall out. It probably won't, but I have bangs, so I'm afraid my little bang pieces are gonna fall out. Bangs are easy to style though, so it's not that big of a deal. But I do have like little layers that are coming out. It's okay. We'll see how this looks in the morning. My hair was a lot drier than I normally do. Like I don't have it like wet. I'm not like a hairstyling guru or anything. I don't know why I'm spending so much time talking about this. I just literally get so excited to talk to people about anything because I do not talk to anyone outside of my husband, and he's still not home. It's 9:15 and he's still not home. So all I have to talk to are you guys. So
Sorry, you just get me rambling, but I'll check in with you in the morning on how they look, I guess.
So I know this is not like a reading vlog, but one way that I like to continue reading during the school year is listen to audiobooks on my drive to and from work, because I have like a 20-minute drive, so I don't get very far very quickly, but I'm listening to Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I'm about to go out and buy the book, like the physical copy, because I am about 25% of the way through, and it's like every time that I get in the car and listen to it, there's stuff that I want to highlight. Like the quotes in it, the way it's written is so beautiful, and the story so far is just so emotional and heartbreaking and beautiful, and I relate very, very, very heavily with like the main character in that book so far. And oh my goodness. So I may be going out and buying that book. I'm going to keep listening to the audiobook because the narrator is doing a phenomenal job, because it's set in like early 1900s in Texas. So it's like that southern, like old timey southern accent, and it's so good. She does such a good job. But I just want to have the physical copy so I can be like highlighting and underlining it, because it's beautiful and I don't want to forget any of it. And there's so many things that I want to go back and like reread and re-listen to, but that's just like impossible on an audiobook. So I really do think I'm gonna go out and buy it. It's so good. I love Kristen Hanna. This is my second Kristen Hanna book, and I think the rest of her books just got added to my TBR because I love her writing and her character development and her storylines. I'm obsessed. My kids are about to start walking in from lunch, but today has been kind of frustrating just as far as like planning, because I know what needs to get done and I know how to do it, but our planning time as a team is just not being used the most efficiently, and that is just growing pains. We're a new team. 2 of our teachers are new to the school, so it is just finding that rhythm. I just struggle because I have such high expectations for myself, and I think that I should be further in like planning because I know what needs to be done, but I'm also trying to have realistic expectations, and we're not behind at all. We're doing so much better than I was doing last year, which is in and of itself an amazing thing. I'm just having to kind of rein in my emotions about it and my irritation at wanting to be more productive and efficient during planning. And it will get there. Once we figure out a groove and we figure out our routine, we'll get there. But today I'm just kind of frustrated. So this is me at home. This is how well my hair held up. I feel like the front did okay, but then like all of this is just hair. And I think it's just because I have too much hair. Like it's too heavy. It doesn't hold curl very well or anything very well. So, but at least my front looks fine. So I am eating my supper, which if you watched my last day in the life vlog, or just like my chaotic productive vlog, I made stew. And one of like the big things that I was contemplating was making mashed potatoes instead of cutting the potatoes up and putting them in the stew. My bad on making potatoes. That was the wrong call. I take full responsibility for it. I don't know what I was thinking. I think maybe I watched like a movie or a show, or I saw someone with mashed potatoes and it just got kind of like stuck in my brain, and I was like, I want mashed potatoes. But this is just not it. Like, first of all, it looks gross, but it doesn't taste gross. But it's just very, very, very acidic. And I think that's because the potatoes normally soak up a lot of the seasoning and the acidity and the saltiness. So the potatoes kind of suck that up, and it makes the potatoes taste so good. But because the potatoes weren't in the stew, all of that flavor just kind of it's just sitting in the soup. And when you mix it with the potatoes, now that the potatoes are already cooked, they're not absorbing the flavor the way it needs to be. So it's just a very acidic meal. It's not bad. It's just not like even close to what it normally tastes like. And I'm a little bit devastated. Just a little bit. But I'm eating my bread, my homemade bread. She's so pretty and cute, and I love her. And it tastes so good. Every time I make it, I'm like, why do I not make this literally every single week? Like, it's not that much work, and it tastes so good. And it makes like those 2 little loaves, which honestly, they go bad way faster than regular bread because of all the like flour that's on it. 2 loaves generally last us like maybe a week before they start to like mold. I'm sure I could freeze it and make it last longer, but today was fine. A lot of management. Trying to keep a group of 28 12-year-olds quiet for an hour and a half straight. Like, at this point, I don't even blame them. They don't have a time in the day where they can just be kids. Like, they don't have recess. Everything they do from the moment they get on campus to the moment they leave is structured. Like, they get to school and their options are sit in the cafeteria and eat, or they can go to tutorials in which they just pick a teacher's class and they sit. It's like a homeroom basically. And they just go and they can do work, but they're not like goofing off or anything. They can't be on their phones. And then every single class that they have is structured. Like, there's no recess, there's no free time. Like, even PE is structured. Like, yes, they get to burn off some of their energy, but like probably not the way that they would choose to burn off their energy. And lunch, they can't even like get up to go to the bathroom on their own. They have to sit there, and if they need to go to the bathroom or get up, they have to raise their hand, and there are only 2 adults monitoring an entire grade level lunch. So those kids just basically sit on cafeteria benches for 30 minutes and eat. And they can talk, but if it gets too loud, they have to eat in silence. I understand, like, they have to be quiet in my class in order for me to teach. Like, they just can't hear what I'm saying if they're talking. Like, they can't focus. So, like, I don't feel bad that I'm making them be quiet,
But I feel bad that for like 7 hours straight, they're expected to not talk and to sit still and all this other stuff. They can't do it. And then with how many kids are getting diagnosed with ADHD and just overall attention span has tanked. Like, attention span is at an all-time low. So if I have to teach a lesson that's kind of complicated and it takes me more than 15 minutes to teach it, they're not paying attention anymore. They can't. Like, their brains, they're trained to stop paying attention. And the learned helplessness. Oh my goodness, the learned helplessness. I will walk them through a problem. I will explain the why behind it, the concrete, the abstract, making all these connections, walk them through the process, have a guided example, and then say, your turn. I don't know how to do this. What are you supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? They freak out. Like, they panic. They don't know how to do it. They don't know what to do. And I'm like, if I go over there and I just ask them those guiding questions, they can do it. These kids are not stupid. They just don't know how to think. And I don't have time in my curriculum to teach kids how to think. Like, that's kind of a prerequisite for 7th grade math. And it breaks my heart with how many kids I know that I'm just not reaching because I can't. Like, with the resources that I have, the time that I have, the expectations that are put on me for what I'm teaching them, like, I can't just teach them whatever I want. Like, I have things that I'm supposed to teach them. I have to follow curriculum. I have to do all these things. Granted, I'm only a 2nd-year teacher, so I don't know how much weight my opinion holds, but as someone who has been around this age of kids for a whole year and like been working with them closely, like, this is what I'm seeing, and it's really disheartening. I'm genuinely worried for an entire generation of people to enter the workforce and not be able to do basic problem solving. And they can't think for themselves, and they can't do mental math, and they can't estimate. Like, they say, oh, I have a calculator. Do you really want to have to get out your phone and go to the calculator to do 6 times 4? Do you really want to get out your calculator to do a basic subtraction thing? Like, there are some things that you can just do in your head. You can find 20% of something very easily in your head. You have to do that every time you go to a restaurant. You really want to get out your calculator every single time? Like, I understand, like, I get out my calculator pretty often, but there's a lot, like, calculating people's ages. Like, if I look up a celebrity, I'm like, oh, they were born in 1963. I can do that math to figure out how old they were pretty quickly in my head. I fear we're going to have a generation of people that can't do that, and other basic things. A generation of people that cannot read. These kids can't read. I really didn't intend to get on here and vent about that for 14 minutes. My bad. We'll see how much of that actually makes it into the final cut. Surprise! I'm in my car again. It is 7:22 and I am leaving Starbucks to go to work. On Wednesdays, it's my fellowship time with a friend from church. We're both teachers at different schools, and so we just meet every Wednesday to kind of talk about our week as accountability partners and that sort of stuff. So that was an amazing time. And now I'm going to school. I wore my bad mascara today, so we'll see. I feel like it's already started to raccoon. Anyway, here's my earrings today. Super cute little baby bell. These are always a hit with everyone. I love these earrings so much. And it is like a spirit day. So every Wednesday we get to wear jeans if we're wearing a school shirt. So I'm wearing my school shirt so I can wear my jeans. And it is 7:30, so I'm gonna go on inside and get started with my day.
Today's planning went so much better. We just finished lunch. it was just really nice because I think yesterday the main problem was we were also, or at least I was so overstimulated with how many people were in the PLC room, because last year we were all allowed to PLC in our own classrooms, so it was just like the 4 of us working, and this year they really want everyone using the PLC room during their planning time. So there were like 3 different content and grade level groups in there, all talking and all planning and all using different screens and stuff. So it was just very chaotic, and we walked out of there like with nothing done. But today we went in there, we knew what we needed to do to get done, we got it done, and we were able to like look forward to the future. So yay. I freaked out yesterday over kind of nothing. Look, I feel like it's already starting to transfer. Whatever. My stomach hurts so bad. I can't burp. I don't know if you've ever met anyone that can't burp, but it is debilitating. So, you know how after you're talking for a long time, or you drink carbonated beverages, or you eat really fast, or just any time that you feel the need to burp, you have like that gas pain at the top of your diaphragm, and then I assume you burp and feel relief. I feel the pain, no burp, no relief. I'm just constantly, the top of my diaphragm hurts, which is why I feel like I always say my stomach hurts, because it literally always does. It always hurts. And it's so much worse during the school year because I'm talking all day, I'm swallowing a lot of air, and I'm eating really fast because I don't have long for lunch. So my stomach hurts. I'm willing to do anything. I would have surgery just to be able to burp. I got an email like 20 minutes before school was over reminding me about a meeting after school, but I don't have to go to it. But the next 2 Wednesdays after school, I will have to stay for meetings. Today was crazy, but I think I'm going to do just a tiny bit of grading. Not grading, I should put grades in the grade book, and then I'm gonna go home.
So I ended up not doing any grading because I realized I had to call a few parents, and I mean, not for bad things, like their kids aren't bad kids or anything, but one of them keeps falling asleep, and it's like I'll wake him up and then he'll just go back to sleep. So I just wanted to call his parents and see if everything was okay, like at home. And she got mad, not at me, at him, because she was like, that literally makes no sense. He's been going to bed at like 9 or 10. He's been sleeping through the night. There's no reason he should be falling asleep in your class. It will not happen again. And I mean, thank you. I would rather an active, supportive parent than a dismissive or just like not active parent. But I didn't want him to get in trouble. Like he just sleeps. And then the other one, the mom did not speak English. She only spoke Spanish, and my Spanish is un poco. So I had to use Google Translate, and I was like, I will send you an email instead. And she was like, okay, thank you. And I was like, great. Hung up and realized her email is not in the system. So I had to call her back and be like, hey, I don't have your email. And then she went off on like 30 seconds in Spanish, and I caught very little. And then I think her like other daughter got in the car and started translating for me, and that ended up being a good conversation. But it's definitely a struggle. I mean, like, our campus is probably 80% Hispanic. Very high percent of them are emerging bilinguals or in the ESL program. So it is insanely common for me to call home and the parents don't speak English. So I've been meaning to get back on the grind of learning Spanish. I took it in college. I got pretty good at it, and then just stopped using it. So I meant to relearn it over the summer. But I can have like a basic conversation, and I know when the kids are cussing in Spanish, which really that's all I need to know as a teacher.
About 7:30, just got to school. I do not have tutorials today because I am one of the co-sponsors for Student Council, and our first meeting is today. So probably in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna head down to my co-teacher's room and get ready for that meeting. I I really don't know what to expect. This is my first year sponsoring student council and her first year sponsoring, but both of us did student council when we were in middle school, high school, so I'm excited. Finished lunch yet again, talking to you guys on my planning period. The classroom above me is being so loud because I think they are transitioning from class to lunch. They're like putting all the chairs up, so if you can hear that, I'm sorry. But I talked about a couple days ago, well, for you guys, a couple minutes ago, I guess, showing you what iReady looks like the results and how we can use it in class. So I want to show you guys kind of what I see as a teacher. I'm not going to show you any specific students to protect their privacy, so it's just going to be like the generic whole class summary. But just know that there's actually so much more that you can do with it if you're on it, so it's really cool. So this is what I see, the results. I still have 7 students that aren't finished. They're still working on it, but I can see like the number of students who finished above grade level, early grade level, 1 grade level below, and so on, all the way down to 3 or more grade levels below. And then it even talks about it by placement. So you can see, like, I can see where my students as a whole are struggling the most. I'm kind of crooked, but y'all will just have to deal with it. So it's a really good resource, and like I can look at it student by student and see their specific strengths and weaknesses and where they fall. And I had all of my students do this tracking sheet. So as you can see with iReady, they put what they scored here because they get like a number. So it's like in the 400s or 500s, and they'll put that there, and then iReady creates goals for them based on their expected typical growth over the year. And then it also includes their stretch growth, which is trying to catch them up to grade level. And so using those goals that iReady created, I had them all choose their own goal for the winter diagnostic because we have to do this again in January. And then they'll do it one last time in May at the end of the year. So their growth on iReady is part of our evaluation as a teacher because student growth is one of those like domains that we get evaluated on. And if you're familiar with the teacher incentive allotment, that is, student growth is a huge category there. So it uses iReady and STAR, which is why we take it so seriously. Days like today make me wish I taught high school because the behaviors that I'm dealing with are so draining. I'm just so tired. Luckily, I do have a long weekend. We have Monday off, and I'm taking next Friday off. I have a very short week next week, which is exciting. But I want to love middle school so bad, and I do. I do love middle school. I love my kids. I don't love what I'm teaching, like content-wise. I love algebra, which is why I took my 7 through 12 certification over the summer, because I know eventually I am going to want to teach algebra. I initially wanted to teach high school anyway. I only ended up in middle school because of the alternative certification program I was in. But I really, really, really wanted this to be like where I ended up. Like I wanted to just fall in love with 7th grade and stay here forever. But middle school, I'm realizing it's so hard. Not realizing, I've known that. But like, oh my gosh, it's so hard. And there are days when I just want to come in and teach and not worry about hurting cats and not worry about asking the same kid for the 14th time, why are you up? What are you doing? Why are you talking? Why is your chair upside down? Where's your paper? What are you working on? Like, I feel like I'm not able to teach. Like, I can't actually teach them. And then I'm coming around and I'm trying to help them, and I'm realizing that they weren't paying attention at all. Or there were so many distractions while I was teaching that they couldn't focus. So I'm basically reteaching my lesson 28 times to each kid. And I had a pen explode. Not me. One of my tables in the back. Their pen exploded, probably because they were chewing on it. There's ink everywhere. All over their papers. Their hands, their whole hands, black. It's just exhausting. I do feel it's a rewarding job, and I really do love it. But I think the longer I stay in middle school, the clearer it's becoming to me that I really want to be teaching high school. Because this math, 7th grade math, is so freaking easy. It's just a little too easy for me to teach it, which sounds so bad. It's also just frustrating, and I know that moving to high school wouldn't solve all my problems, and they're not angels when they get to high school. Like, I know that high school comes with its own problems. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I know that my teaching style and my content preference aligns better with high school. I know that about myself. I think maybe I'm just being dramatic. I'm very, very, very tired. Yesterday and today were just such bad days. I'm probably just tired. Maybe if any of you have taught both middle and high school, or if you just have taught high school, maybe let me know in the comments what it's like. I got my grades in. I'm taking home some work because we have our first unit assessment next week, so we're starting our next unit the following week. So I'm taking home a bunch of materials to work through them and make sure that, kind of pick and choose what I want to include in class and what materials I want to use and create keys and stuff. That is just easier to do at home. Unfortunately, there's just not enough time in the day. I mean, it's already 4:30. I've been here for 9 hours. No way. I got here at 7:30. So I'm just consistently pulling 9-hour days. That's awesome. Okay. I'm tired, if you can't tell. I don't think there's anything else exciting happening today, so I think this is just where I'm gonna wrap up this vlog. I don't even know what it's gonna be like because I feel like I was so chaotic this week, but at the same time, all I did was sit in front of the camera and talk. So I don't know. I hope you guys like it. I feel like it's gonna be so long. I'm so sorry. But if you made it, thank you. You're a real one. If you liked it, you know what to do. Subscribe to my channel so that you can be a part of all the chaos that I'm going through this year, and so that I always have someone that I can just chat with, because I really do like talking to you guys. Thank you to those of you who've commented on my previous videos. That always makes me so happy, and I love talking to you guys and hearing what you have to say. So go ahead and like this video and leave a comment so that I can get to know you guys better, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.